Before we jump in, let me ask you something. What if the years ahead felt lighter on your joints, steadier underfoot, and richer in confidence? Osteoporosis can make us feel as though we're living in fragile glass bodies. But the truth is this: hope is stronger than bone. Hi, I'm Peter Brown, and you're watching Elderly Paradox, the place where we discover how to age not by breaking down, but by building up with wisdom, grace, and a dash of good humor. Today's feature is Building Strength and Balance, Osteoporosis-Friendly Exercises. Over the past few mornings, I had the privilege of capturing a heartfelt dialogue between two extraordinary clinicians. Dr. Laura, a seasoned female geriatric physical therapist whose gentle cues have guided thousands of seniors back to confident movement, and Dr. Grace, a compassionate male orthopedic specialist who has spent decades turning fracture wards into comeback stories. Together, they spoke of bones and breath, balance and bravery, crafting simple routines anyone can weave into daily life. We recorded their chats in chapters, exactly as they unfolded beneath the jasmine vines in Dr. Laura's garden. Morning sunlight, birdsong, and all. So settle in, maybe grab a notebook, or simply let the words wash over you, and join me as we listen to Dr. Laura and Dr. Grace. Their insights may be just the spark you need to stand taller tomorrow.
Grace, you won't believe how well Mrs. Halim is doing these days. Remember her?
The post-hip fracture patient, early 70s, petite frame, determined to skip the walker?
That's the one. I've had her on a warm-up routine focused on body weight control and stability, and she's showing real improvement. The key has been keeping it light but consistent.
Consistency is so underrated. What's your usual warm-up starter?
Always shoulder rolls, forward and backward. Simple, but they do wonders to reset posture and engage upper back muscles.
I usually follow that with neck rotations, slowly, side to side. People are often surprised how stiff they are until they try it. Then I move to wrist circles. So many falls end in wrist fractures. Prehab is prevention.
Couldn't agree more. After seated warm-up, we ease into standing exercises behind a sturdy chair. Marching in place, chest lifted, shoulders back, we cue toe ball heel stepping.
That cue changes everything. When seniors focus on foot placement, they regain control. It's not about speed, it's about alignment and awareness.
Exactly. Once they're comfortable, we build a sequence, alternating knee lifts, mini squats, and ankle taps. It becomes like choreography, engaging for both mind and body.
You've always had a gift for making exercise creative. That mental engagement is crucial. Cognitive decline can be slowed by motor planning. This work is more than physical.
I had one patient call it dancing with purpose. She said the flow made her feel elegant, not old.
I love that. Speaking of flow, do you ever use hand movements during stepping patterns?
Oh yes, we do soft elbow swings while walking in place. It naturally opens the chest. For a visual cue, I sometimes have them imagine brushing tall grass with their fingertips.
That's beautiful. I'm stealing that one. I also introduce side-to-side taps with gentle arm sweeps. It supports spinal mobility and balance. Many seniors are so used to moving front to back, they lose lateral stability.
True. I incorporate a small twist with the arms, just enough to activate the obliques. It helps with rotational control, especially when catching oneself from a stumble.
A little rotation can go a long way. How do your patients respond to this?
Surprisingly well. They feel safer when they know the movements are designed for their bones, not in spite of them. I always remind them to stay within a pain-free range of motion.
I always stress that too. Comfort doesn't mean lack of challenge. It means safety.
Absolutely. The moment they trust that, they start owning the routine. I see it in their posture, even their breath.
Speaking of breath, do you incorporate breathing cues?
I do. Inhale on lift, exhale on control. Helps with rhythm and core engagement. Breath is movement's best partner.
I once worked with a patient who said, "I forget to breathe when I try too hard." Breathing instructions reminded her to relax into the movement.
That's such a good reminder for all of us. Even we professionals need to hear that sometimes.
So what do you move into after the warm-up?
We focus on core and balance next. I like seated knee lifts, followed by supported standing heel raises, and toe raises too. Great for ankle control.
I use that sequence as well. It directly supports gait mechanics. Heel raises strengthen the posterior chain, while toe raises activate the anterior tibialis.
You sound like a textbook, but you're right. Those simple shifts build the foundation.
We should co-lead a virtual session one day. Maybe film it in this garden?
That would be lovely. Patients enjoy seeing us talk through these things. It makes the exercises feel more personal.
Yes, and it emphasizes that these aren't just random movements. They're chosen with purpose, tailored for protection and progress.
And progress looks different for each person. For one patient, it's standing unassisted. For another, it's walking to the mailbox.
Yes, I remind them, motion is medicine. Every rep is a vote for longevity.
That's a good one. I'm writing that down.
You quote me, I quote you. Fair trade.
Deal. Let's keep brainstorming. Maybe next we can refine some upper body work, something gentle but effective for posture.
Perfect. Let's refresh our tea and dive in.
So Grace, let's talk upper body. I know we both agree posture is everything, especially with osteoporosis.
Absolutely. A slight forward tilt can snowball into a kyphotic spine if we don't intervene early. I usually start with scapular retractions, just squeezing the shoulder blades gently together.
Yes, that's one of my essentials too. I call them posture resets. I even have patients do them seated against a wall so they can feel the alignment.
That's clever. It gives them sensory feedback. I sometimes combine that with chin tucks, just slight ones. Forward head posture is so common, especially among folks who've been using walkers or watching TV a lot.
Right. The whole head, shoulder, neck chain needs realigning. I sometimes say, imagine your neck growing taller like a sunflower. They smile every time.
That's brilliant. I'm going to use that. Do you move into resistance work after posture?
Yes, light hand weights or resistance bands. We start with bicep curls, palms up, elbows tucked. It's simple but essential. I keep it slow and controlled.
Same here. And for those who can't use weights, I just use isometric contractions. Even pressing palms together in front of the chest engages the upper body.
Exactly. Then we go to overhead presses, only if their shoulder mobility allows. I cue them to inhale as they lift, exhale on the way down.
That breathing pattern makes it a fluid movement. For those with rotator cuff concerns, I modify it with front arm raises to shoulder height.
Good call. And then I love adding a horizontal row with bands. It's so effective for the mid-back, which often weakens with age.
Yes, IQ, draw the elbows toward your waist, like you're rowing a boat. That imagery helps.
Isn't it amazing how much language affects exercise execution? I once said, pull the wings in, and my whole class understood scapular retraction instantly.
That's brilliant. Words matter, especially when you're working with different learning styles. Some need to feel it, some need to hear it.
And what about push movements? I do gentle wall push-ups. They're fantastic for building upper body strength without putting too much strain on the joints.
I love wall push-ups too, and for wrist support, I sometimes have them hold onto a counter edge instead. They get a good triceps workout as well.
And then there's grip strength. I give them a stress ball or rolled up towel to squeeze. 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off.
That's so overlooked. Grip strength correlates with functional independence. Even something like opening jars becomes easier.
Exactly. And I integrate wrist curls using soup cans, palms up and down. We often forget how important the forearms are until someone has trouble turning a doorknob.
I had a patient, Mr. Frank, early 80s. He couldn't carry his shopping bag for more than 2 minutes. After just 4 weeks of basic upper body and grip training, he could make it from his car to the kitchen without stopping.
That's the kind of progress that matters, and it motivates them to stick with it.
Yes, they realize it's not about fitness in the gym sense. It's about making life easier.
I always say, you're not training muscles, you're training for freedom.
That's so well said. Freedom to reach the top shelf, to hug someone tightly, to push the window open.
And let's not forget posture's effect on mood. When people stand taller, they breathe better. And when they breathe better, they feel better.
Absolutely. I've seen patients walk into class feeling discouraged and leave energized just because they sat upright for 30 minutes.
Have you ever added resistance band exercises for posture?
Yes, we do open the door movements. Elbows at the side, rotate forearms out. It's excellent for the rotator cuff and opens the chest.
That's a favorite of mine too. Plus, it counteracts that rounded shoulders look from years of desk work or caregiving.
And it's safe for most levels. No overhead strain, just controlled, grounded movement.
Do you build this into circuits or do you do them as standalone sets?
I usually alternate between upper body and breathing or stretching, give them a recovery while keeping the focus.
Same here. And I often pair posture work with balance, like having them hold a band pull while standing on one foot.
Multifunctional training, that's the future, making every move count. And they love it when they feel coordinated.
I once had a patient say, I feel like I'm putting myself back together. And honestly, isn't that what we're helping them do?
Yes, piece by piece, safely, gently, but with purpose.
Should we draft a simple at-home routine based on these? 5 moves, 5 minutes, a feel-good finisher.
Great idea. Let's sketch it now. 1. Scapular squeeze, seated or standing, 10 reps. 2. Bicep curls, light weights or soup cans, 12 reps. 3. Wall push-ups, 8 to 10 reps. 4. Open the door rotation, resistance band, 10 reps. 5. Overhead arm press or shoulder raises modified if needed, 8 to 10 reps.
And we can add gentle neck rolls and breathing at the end as a cool down.
Let's call it the Strong Spine, Soft Shoulders series.
I love it. Friendly, encouraging, and clear. It could be a handout or a video.
Why not both? Let's put it into action. Next week, we can start recording.
Deal. Our patients will love it. Let's empower them one movement at a time.
I've been reflecting on how critical balance training is for our seniors. One misstep and it can change everything.
You're absolutely right, Grace. And with osteoporosis, falls often mean fractures. I try to make balance work fun and functional, so they stick with it.
That's the key, functional. I like to start with heel-to-toe walking. It mimics walking on a tightrope, but in a safe way, along a hallway wall or countertop.
Great one. I call it the balance beam walk. I cue them to imagine walking on a painted line. Eyes forward, arms out to the sides. It challenges proprioception and focus.
Exactly. And I usually pair it with single leg stands. 1 foot up, knee slightly bent, hold for 5 to 10 seconds. Chair nearby, of course.
That's in my toolkit too. I encourage them to brush their teeth while standing on 1 foot. It's multitasking for their muscles and their minds.
Love that! I also use gentle weight shifts. Feet shoulder width apart, shift weight side to side, then forward and back. It builds core awareness.
Yes, I build on that by adding gentle squats after the weight shifts. They get used to bending their knees safely.
Squats are excellent. I cue hips back like you're about to sit on a tall stool. Takes the pressure off the knees and brings it to the glutes and thighs.
Exactly, and strong glutes mean better pelvic stability, especially when walking, climbing stairs, or stepping off curbs.
Have you tried side steps with resistance bands around the ankles?
I do. I call them penguin walks. Small steps, slow and steady. It targets the hip abductors, vital for lateral stability.
That's brilliant. I use cones or floor markers too. They step over or around them, encourages controlled foot placement and hip mobility.
Oh, obstacle work is so effective. Plus, it engages the brain. Decision-making under movement conditions is part of real life.
It's so true. I also integrate backward walking, slowly, with supervision.
It activates posterior chain muscles and boosts balance.
I add a twist, literally. I'll have them step sideways and rotate their torso gently with or without an arm reach. Improves dynamic balance.
And that rotation supports core stability and spinal mobility without too much torque on the vertebrae. Perfect for osteoporosis.
What about seated balance work? For some of my frailer patients, I begin with seated marching or arm and leg oppositional lifts.
Yes, those are great starting points. I cue them to sit tall, lift the right arm and left leg together, then switch. It's simple, but really wakes up the neuromuscular system.
I love combining those with slow ankle rolls or toe taps while seated. Builds ankle strength without fatigue.
And we can't forget about reaction time. I've started doing gentle toss and catch games. Lightweight ball, varying directions, builds hand-eye coordination.
Brilliant! Even tossing a balloon can train reflexes and keep the mood light. I find laughter adds to the balance.
Absolutely. Emotion affects stability more than we realize. Confident people stand taller, anxious ones shrink.
Speaking of which, Grace, I recently had a patient who wouldn't stand without holding something. We worked up from fingertip support to standing unassisted within 6 weeks.
That's amazing. I always say, trust your feet. We often rely too much on our hands.
I love that. Trust your feet? That's going on my wall.
You're welcome. So, shall we sketch out a beginner balance sequence?
Let's do it. Beginner balance sequence. 1. Heel to toe walk along a wall, 10 steps each way. 2. Single leg stand, 5 to 10 seconds per side, 3 sets. 3. Weight shifts, side to side, then front back, 8 each direction. 4. Mini squats, chair behind for safety, 10 reps. 5. Side steps with band, 8 steps right, 8 left. 6. Obstacle walk or toe taps over cone, 2 rounds. Seated balance sequence. 1. Seated marching, 20 alternating lifts. 2. Arm leg opposites, 10 reps each side. 3. Seated toe taps or ankle rolls, 15 seconds each. 4. Balloon toss or gentle catch game, 2 minutes.
That's a solid foundation. Could be a full class or broken into small daily routines.
We can call it the Stand Strong Step Smart series.
That's catchy and clear. We'll record this next month, right?
Definitely. Let's keep building this. Next time, we can focus on lower body strength, calves, quads, and hamstrings.
Perfect. From the ground up, just like we teach.
Just like we live. See you back here tomorrow, same time?
You bet. Bring an extra notepad. We'll need it.
Laura, good morning. I slept better than usual last night. Maybe it's all these exercise chats keeping my body more aware.
Morning, Grace. Isn't that something? We talk about movement all day, and somehow it still boosts our own habits. Speaking of which, today's theme, core and flexibility.
Yes, 2 pillars of stability and mobility. And let's not forget, a strong core is foundational for preventing falls and supporting the spine.
Absolutely. With osteoporosis, it's crucial that we strengthen the trunk muscles, especially those supporting posture. I usually start with simple seated core activations.
Oh yes, like seated pelvic tilts?
Exactly. I cue them to sit tall, inhale, and gently tuck the pelvis under. Exhale and tilt slightly forward without slouching. It activates the deep abdominals.
I love those. They build awareness without stress. And from there, I move into seated knee lifts, 1 leg at a time, slow and controlled.
That's a staple for me too. Sometimes I call them marches of strength. Even just 10 reps per leg starts to wake up the lower core.
Do you ever add in oppositional reaches, right arm and left leg lift, then switch?
All the time. It builds coordination and cross-body awareness. Plus, the diagonals help with rotational strength.
And safe rotation is so essential. I cue my patients to imagine looking behind them in the car, but without forcing the twist.
Good cue. I sometimes say, grow tall before you turn. Keeps the spine aligned. Then I introduce thoracic rotations while seated. Arms across the chest. Twist gently side to side.
That's great for mobility, and it pairs beautifully with cat-cow movements in a seated position. Spine extension and flexion with breath.
Yes. Inhale, arch forward slightly. Exhale, round and pull the belly in. They love it. It feels freeing.
Speaking of breath, I've been integrating more diaphragmatic breathing lately. I place one hand on the belly, one on the chest, and have them inhale deeply into the lower hand.
That's such a calming technique. And it helps reduce anxiety, which many seniors carry, especially after a fall or diagnosis.
Exactly. A calm breath steadies the mind and the body. I even use humming exhalations. It lengthens the breath and soothes the nervous system.
Oh, that's lovely. I use a smell the flower, blow the candle analogy with new clients. Simple, but effective.
That's classic and comforting. You know what else I found powerful? Gentle seated side bends, hands behind the head or at the waist, reaching side to side.
Yes, it strengthens the obliques and opens the ribs. I often do that one seated with a towel behind the back for support.
What about standing movements for the core? I usually start with gentle standing knee lifts and controlled torso twists holding a lightweight ball.
I love that. Even just lifting the arms overhead and reaching side to side engages the lateral line. Sometimes I use a stretch band for added resistance.
And standing heel to knee taps with a slight abdominal contraction. Those are surprisingly effective.
They are. And I'll sometimes add in a gentle standing wood chop move. Bring hands diagonally across the body, like chopping wood, light, slow, and fluid.
It mimics real-life movements like picking up laundry or reaching across a counter.
Exactly. That's why I also love towel twists. Hold a towel shoulder width apart, twist the torso side to side. It's playful but effective.
Flexibility plays a huge role here too. Gentle neck stretches, shoulder rolls, and arm circles get things moving.
Yes, and I always include seated hamstring stretches. One leg out, foot flexed. Hands on the thigh. Inhale tall, exhale gently lean.
That cueing keeps it safe. And for the back body, I love the figure 4 seated stretch. Ankle over the opposite knee, slight forward lean.
That's gold. It opens the hips and relieves lower back tension. For clients who can't cross the ankle, I modify with a wide knee position and a forward hinge.
Do you use yoga blocks or cushions?
Definitely. They support alignment and help maintain postural integrity during stretches.
Shall we build a gentle sequence?
Let's do it. Core and breath routines, seated and standing. 1. Seated pelvic tilts, 10 reps. 2. Seated knee lifts, 10 each leg. 3. Arm-leg oppositional reach, 8 per side. 4. Seated cat-cow, 5 slow breaths. 5. Thoracic rotation, arms across the chest, 6 per side. 6. Diaphragmatic breathing, 5 deep breaths, optional hum on exhale. 7. Seated side bends, 5 per side.
Standing core and flexibility routine. 1. Standing knee lifts with twist, 10 reps. 2. Overhead reach with side stretch, 6 per side. 3. Wood chop, light ball or band, 5 per side. 4. Neck rolls and shoulder rolls, 3 each direction. 5. Standing hamstring stretch, 20 seconds each side. 6. Seated or standing figure 4 stretch, 20 seconds each side.
That's a perfect midday or morning reset. Let's call this the Center and Stretch series.
Perfect name. It sounds both calming and energizing. Want to lead this one next time we meet?
I'd love to. I'll bring my yoga mat and resistance band.
Wonderful. I'll bring the music. Let's give our patients a strong center, literally and emotionally.
Here's to strength, breath, and balance.
Grace, it's our final day of this little morning series. Can you believe how much we've covered?
It's been rich and practical. I think we've created something meaningful, easy to follow, yet deeply therapeutic.
Today's topic is often overlooked. Cooling down, calming the nervous system, and helping patients stay consistent long term.
Exactly. Many seniors finish a workout and think they're done, but skipping the cool down can leave them feeling stiff or even lightheaded.
I always start with gentle walking in place. It slows the heart rate gradually. I cue them to focus on soft landings, slower breath.
Yes, and then I transition into step touches or heel digs with deep inhaling and exhaling. Movement gets smaller and more fluid.
Once we settle the breath, I guide them into static stretches. Gentle calf stretches against the wall or seated hamstring stretches.
Hamstrings are so tight in most seniors. And with osteoporosis, long holds are safer when seated. I love using a strap or towel to help reach the foot.
I cue, feel the stretch, not the strain. It helps them tune in and avoid overpulling.
That's beautiful. For upper body, I use shoulder rolls, neck tilts, and gentle chin tucks. It's amazing how often neck posture affects balance.
Absolutely. I even end sessions with palm presses, hands together at the chest, press and hold. It activates stabilizers and brings focus.
Do you include breathwork in the cool down?
Always. I ask them to close their eyes, sit tall, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. It's a rhythm that calms the vagus nerve.
And stimulates rest and recovery. I've recently added gratitude reflection, 1 minute of naming things they're thankful for, sometimes aloud, sometimes internal.
That's lovely. Positive focus changes brain chemistry, builds resilience.
And it improves compliance. When they leave feeling emotionally lifted, they're more likely to return.
Speaking of return, how do you encourage consistency?
I emphasize routine. Same time of day, same space, same music. It signals the brain that this is exercise time.
I recommend they keep a simple journal. Just 3 things. What did I do? How did I feel? Would I do it again?
Great tool. I also pair them up when possible. Accountability goes up when they have a buddy.
Even virtual check-ins work. A weekly call or message, "Did you do your stretches today?" goes a long way.
I provide printouts too, visual reminders of the sequences, clear images and large font. Some even laminate them.
And we shouldn't forget the power of music. Familiar tunes encourage movement and joy.
Yes, I ask patients what songs they like. I'll make playlists, 60 slow jams, peaceful piano, even nature sounds.
One of my clients dances her cool down. Just gentle sways with music. That's her meditative end.
Movement is memory. We help them relink joy with exercise. That's how habits stick.
Shall we sketch out a closing routine? Something they can do every day.
Let's go for it. Daily cool down and reflection routine. 1. March in place, slow tempo, 1 minute. 2. Step touch and deep breathing, 1 minute. 3. Seated hamstring stretch, strap optional, 20 seconds per leg. 4. Calf stretch against wall or seated toe press, 20 seconds each. 5. Shoulder rolls and neck tilts, 3 reps each direction. 6. Seated or standing chest opener, hands clasped behind the back or towel hold. 7. Palm press at heart and breath work, 4-4-6 pattern for 5 breaths. 8. Gratitude reflection, quiet or spoken, 1 minute.
That's simple, grounding, and soul-soothing.
I'll print this and give it a warm title, something like Close with Care.
Beautiful, Grace. It's been a joy sharing these mornings with you.
Likewise, Laura. We've created something meaningful, not just for others, but for ourselves too.
Agreed. Let's pass this on to our teams and maybe even film it for our patients.
Let's do it. Movement, breath, connection, it's the real prescription.
The best medicine indeed. See you on the mat soon.
Always.
Wow, what a journey! From steady breaths to stronger bones, Dr. Laura and Dr. Grace have shown us that resilience isn't reserved for the young. It's written in every choice we make today. If even one tip sparked hope in you, imagine what weaving these routines into your mornings could do. So here's my heartfelt invitation. Wake up your wellness, and when you do, let us know in the comments below. If you found value here, please like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who believes life after 60 deserves a standing ovation. Your support fuels Elderly Paradox and helps us craft more guides that honor the body, lift the spirit, and keep the mind curious. I'm Peter Brown, and on this channel, we'll keep bringing you stories, science, and simple steps to grow older with grit and grace. Until our next video, stay steady, stay hopeful, and stay wonderfully you. Signing off with love, see you soon, and stay blessed.